basic problem is if you go on to major elections about major forces, Republicans versus the Democrats, left versus right, you know where you are mostly basically before it starts. The problem with primaries is that you're basically targeting people of the same family. And here come small but important differences. Of course, I'm not overvaluing this because if you also follow the American case, it's very much about personality, and black and so on. It's not simply about policy issues, but in the end of the day, even if you going to 30% of these touches on health insurance and basically what you have to the health system, this is real knowledge. Because when you vote, even if I can decide, for example, to vote about, I need to argument to explain the others why. And one is that he's charming or saying Hillary and so on, but the basic problem is that also need to use policy arguments. And I'm warning them. And through warning them, you're slightly internalizing them. And I think this is very important. So part of this type of primaries and this type of a different political process which are very much democratizing politics in your own camp is very important. Because the biggest problem with political parties in history of what I see is a total lack of internal debate and internal democracies. To the extent that they exist, political parties are simply machines. They're not interesting. They're boring. And what we see from the primary process is that people be right or wrong, but it's not boring. People passionately feel disagree. I've been following almost on a daily basis. There is a very good, talking about favorites, very good blog which is called realpolitics.com, which basically gathers all of the important information concerning the primaries, but also you cannot imagine what level of creativity. At 10 years old daughter or friend of mine sent to thousands of us, basically any type of email address that she found in her surrounding, a small clip which she personally did, 30 seconds, where she said, if it will not be Mama, let's be Mama. So this type of creativity is very important and interesting. Because everybody now is very much basically shocked about buying votes in Bulgaria, but there is something different. How many volunteers do you know who work for the parties? Most of the people who work for the parties also paid by this party. So, I don't know, because when people talk about in-person engagement, I'm always very much interested how institutionally this happens. So primaries and this type of deliberative process needs to be a sound instruments that can be used to produce findable excitement, and people being part of the deliberative process. We talk about people who are different anyway, mostly because of the kind of age structure of Bulgarian society. Only 50% of the people taking part in this control, older than 50 or so. Some of them coming from a deep countryside. One of them said something which was absolutely interesting. She said, it's such interesting thing that you did. Since the time of the previous regime when they were functioning trade unions, nobody brought us to Sofia. This because some of the colleagues were shocked. But no, for him, the fact that in 60s or 70s somebody brought him to here and present people different than people who is leading his village for the last 50 years, it's a major thing. The fact that we are traveling does not mean that everybody is traveling. In Bulgarian society now there is a big dialogue why 3 times more people went for the last holiday to Greece than to Bulgarian Black Sea. But no, we're talking about 50,000. 36,000 went to Greece and 12,000 to Bulgaria. What about the others? And this type of a change is very much also connected with this change in the figure of the citizen from the figure of the consumer. Because if you're a business, you're never interested in how many people or how much money you got. So even when you go to advertising, this is one of the things that people, for example, you can see that the biggest successes on the market are not the high circulation papers or programs, but those who are very much targeting the niches with the people that can pay. Because if you want, for example, to advertise a special credit card service, you don't need to go, for example, there is a newspaper in Bulgaria called Weekend which has 250,000 circulation. But none of the banks will go and be advertised there because most of their readers are not the one who are going for this credit card. So they will stay with many competitor weekly because for them basically their buyers are there. And this type of restructuring of society, in my view, is very, very important because the more the niche type of societies we have, the more difficult is becoming the right discourse. Because the human rights discourse normally is the rights of the others, those who are not like me. When you're not seeing somebody not like you, when you don't believe that they are not like you, in your personal experience, it's much more about my own rights. But then where my own rights stop and where my privileges start, it's very difficult to get one for very honest and nice people. And see, this is a major issue. We've been talking too much. So this is going to change. The next class, because mine is supposed to give you the opportunity basically to express your views on the whole problematics, not just on this issue, where you see, how you stand, even if you don't, not just reacting to my initial thoughts, but to things that you have been thinking about. Well, I'm interested in your reflections about those, because probably would be more contradictory on this. I don't have a problem, just to make it, I don't have a problem with the people setting their vote. I have the problem with the people knowing how the others vote. And just to give you a single example, I can tell and come to you and say, here 20 levels vote for me. You can take my 20 levels. You can go to the ballot box and to vote for the one who decides should be elected. So then I'm not worried. What I'm worried about is the following. I'm going to tell you, here is my 20 levels, and here is the ballot, and I'm going to tell you that I will know how you can vote it. And this is most of the cases, this is the case. And then, this is two totally different stories. The first there is a guy who's going to invest in something which can basically bring him zero. He tries to speak money and not to speak ideas. Fine. If you're convinced by his 20 level, do it. It's your choice, but he cannot control how you're voting. If he can control how you're voting, it's a totally different story. But at least this is my opinion on it. So let's do the following. Let's have 20-25 minutes break because 5 cooperation. There was a family concern between 25 minutes. And I had a really bleeding from the nose because of this in the morning, so I tried to keep it very low intensity. And then to start, for example, 10 to 4, to start with each of you basically to make his points together. So everybody can talk, and then for 15-20 minutes I want your position to see where you stand on this.